Next up, we are just a short while away from the first and possibly the only presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. With the two neck-and-neck in polls for the 5th of November vote, the stakes are as high as they can be. More than two-thirds of American adults are expected to tune in. They'll be watching eagerly for any slip-ups or one-liners. Trump, of course, is the most experienced presidential debater around these days. This is his 7th since 2016. We all know exactly who the former president is, but many say they still don't know enough about Harris or her policies. Well, one issue sure to come up is the economy. 1 in 10 Americans are living below the poverty line. Rents are rising and mortgage rates are high. France 24's Eliza Herbert takes a look at how the policies compare.
They have both promised to improve the lives of American people, and yet their plans of how to do so look extremely different. At the heart of Kamala Harris's agenda is supporting the middle class. Some first-time homebuyers would get a helping hand with $25,000 in down payment support. She also plans to give up to $6,000 for families with infants by expanding the child tax credit and to impose taxes on the rich and raise the corporate tax from 21% to 28%.
Now compare that to what Donald Trump plans. He plans to give billionaires massive tax cuts and to cut corporate taxes by over $1 trillion, even as they pull in record profits.
And this is a big point where the two candidates differ. At the heart of Donald Trump's agenda is tax. He plans to extend his 2017 tax cuts that are set to expire next year, cut the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15%, impose 10 to 20% tariffs on all imports and 60% tariffs on all Chinese imports. And in a recent twist, he has also said he would bring in billionaire Elon Musk to run a government efficiency commission tasked with a financial and performance audit.
As the first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of dollars, trillions.
Trillions he could desperately need. According to analyses by the Penn Wharton budget model, while Harris's plans would lead to a public deficit of $1.2 trillion over 10 years, Trump's would be a whopping $5.8 trillion, though that doesn't include his latest promised spending cuts.
With that look on each candidate's economic policies. Well, let's talk more about the presidential debate now with Professor Todd Belt, Director of the Political Management Program at George Washington University. Professor, great to have you along with us tonight. What do you think each candidate is hoping to achieve ideally tonight?
Well, thanks for having me on. It's great to be with you. Donald Trump, of course, is Donald Trump, and he wanted a few more debates, actually. And the Harris campaign wanted to put some rules on them that he didn't like. But for instance, he's slagging in the polls a little bit. He's starting to make a comeback, but this race is pretty dead even. What he wants to do is win another term, and to do that, he wants to show that his opponent is not up to the job, Kamala Harris. So he's definitely going to be on the attack, and he's going to try to remind Americans how much better everything was during his term. On the other hand, we have Kamala Harris, who, of course, was vice president, but still really hasn't been introduced to America. She needs to define who she is, but more importantly, what would an America under her presidency look like? That's one of the things that's been pretty light so far. Your reporter just talked about these economic policies that we're finally getting some detail on. I'm hoping we'll hear more about that, but it's going to be just one debate and a lot crammed into it.
Well, it's often said that debates don't change people's minds, but as we saw in the first debate with Joe Biden, this is certainly no ordinary campaign. Do you think tonight could help undecided voters make up their minds?
Yes, it does so, but in a way that's not direct. Interestingly, most of the people who tune in have already decided, and they want to see how their candidate is going to do. For the undecided voters, they usually get their information about the debate in the subsequent days. And this is why we see the candidates really trying to get that zinger or some sort of memorable statement that will be replayed in the subsequent days that can have a longer effect and really targeting effect on those undecided voters.
All eyes, of course, will be on those potential zingers, any slip-ups or any one-liners that come out of the debate tonight. We'll be following all of the action between the two candidates tonight here on France 24, ABC News presidential debate live and in full, beginning just before 3 a.m. Paris time. Thank you very much to Todd Belt, Director of the Political Management Program at George Washington University, for joining us.